I have no interest in not eating meat, but I feel like it will probably be in the same way that maybe I'm not sure. It's very strange compared to other vices because it's food, like smoking and stuff like that. I wouldn't, even though it's arguable that it's similar, I would never put them in the same place because it's what allows me to survive, literally.
No, you don't need meat to survive. I don't believe that, and it's scientifically proven that that's not true.
Well, it
That a
allows me to,
human doesn't need meat to survive.
well, it
That's
allows me to,
scientifically proven. Okay,
it allows me to survive in the way that I want to survive.
just
To
be muscly.
yeah, to maintain the weight that I have, to go to the gym as much as I need to. Do you know how much it would cost to try and basically look for the same amount of protein that I want every single day from plants? I think there's also an element of privilege that you need in order to go completely plant based.
Well, it doesn't matter to you
And to,
anyways because you
and
don't
to
care about being plant based anyways.
yeah, but we're having a conversation about the ethics of eating meat, and I feel like you should question this moral high ground that you take, considering that not everyone can afford to go plant based and still get the same amount of sustenance that they need to continue their day.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I guess.
You guess?
I just think moral high ground. I mean, I think that each to their own. I just, for me, it's just baffling how somebody cannot see it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like whatever, but I'm saying I'm better than anybody because I don't eat meat. But I'm saying like I just don't understand, and I never used to understand. And also, how can I have a moral high ground? I was just eating like 3 chicken wings or 4 even. So it's not like I'm not. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not a vegan. So there's only a certain level of moral high ground. High ground I can claim.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, like, I just morally, I don't know how somebody could tell me that it's okay to eat meat in this day and
And
age. In this day and
I
age,
just told you, some people can't afford not to go plant based. That's how someone can tell you it's okay to eat meat.
because they want to be muscly and they have to buy too much protein
Or maybe they
stuff.
don't just want to be muscly, but they literally cannot afford to go plant based. Do you know how expensive vegetables are?
Um,
It's true.
I
Yes. To get the same amount of calories and sustenance that you'll get from chicken or meat, to get that from plants, you know how much you'd need to spend? This is what I'm saying. There is so much privilege around this conversation.
I don't believe that because I eat mainly vegetables. I barely eat a meal with meat. I don't, and I know a lot of people, and there are you telling me that poor people can't be vegetarians? That's absolute nonsense.
I didn't say poor people can't be vegetarians. I'm just saying it can be harder for people to find plant-based alternatives to chicken and meat that is as affordable.
I think that that is all down to finding right recipes and research, and I don't believe that. And there's you can probably watch hundreds of documentaries. There's enough information out there. To use that as an excuse for me is not good enough
Why not?
because I
So why
know
haven't you done it?
what I have done what
Why haven't you gone fully plant-based?
because I'm ignorant and because I just like the taste too much.
Because you're ignorant.
Yeah, it's an ignorant thing because telling you
What don't you know that you don't
no,
need you
what
should
don't I
know?
know? What I choose to ignore or what I choose to not live by, even though I morally think that this is right for me, is ignorance. Like I know for a fact that I personally, in my body, I should be living a plant-based life,
Hmm.
but I don't because it's laziness, it's ignorance, and it's just choosing not to because of reasons I can't even like. I just don't do it, and it's ignorance.
So for your body, so do
Yes,
you not think it's even more ignorant to try and impose your own morality on everyone else?
do I impose my morality, or do I just say that I really don't get how people can't see it?
You
Like,
said
it baffles me.
well, you're saying it's not acceptable, or there's no reason that you would accept to say that it's okay to eat
Yeah,
meat.
it's like, for me, it doesn't make sense, like, how somebody could not get that that's wrong. But I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not doing it myself. I am morally, I just, when I think about it, it's such a clear vision. It's so obvious that we should be plant-based. We don't have to eat meat, and even what it does apparently to the environment, I'm not clued up, but even that part, and the mass production of these animals, and the conditions most of them live in, and then I just think it baffles me how someone cannot see it. That's all
No,
I'm
I actually
saying.
do. I agree on that point. The mass production and the effect it has on the environment is actually quite horrible. So I would agree with you on that. But I I feel like there should be a lot more regulation on um, how these animals are treated, and I also feel like there should be subsidies for vegetables and fruits to make them a lot cheaper, because in most cases, a lot of fruits and vegetables are healthy or healthier.
And
But
also,
that
yeah,
isn't necessarily, and I feel like we should push governments and stuff like that for these regulations. But I just don't. I I wouldn't, because the same way you can say I don't understand how people can think this is right. The same person with a flip phone is going to be like, how can you use a phone? I can't believe you can say
yeah,
that. How can you
no,
justify that?
I understand that fully, but
And
I'm
I
just
feel like
saying,
that's the slippery slope of like moral indignation. Like you shouldn't, because if you want to judge someone for one thing, someone's going to happily judge you for all of the life choices that you make.
that's absolutely fine, but that doesn't nullify what I just said.
Yeah, of course.
And
I
I
already said I
also
agree.
said we live in a very ignorant society, and it shows. And I'm not excluding myself out of the equation. It's just like, something that,
It's like an observation.
yeah, it's an observation. And like I said, I'm making these whole arguments about meat, and I just ate 4 chicken wings, and I do eat meat sometimes. I have
Mm-hmm.
certain little meals that I would not love to, like, sit out. Like, I'm obsessed with pepperoni pizza slice from Greg's.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with the pizza slice. Like,
Yeah.
I have that weekly, and I wouldn't, like, but I think sometimes I feel like I'm just somebody that can't live in denial.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, I think nobody's perfect, and we all, to a certain extent, do things that we believe to be wrong, but we still do them.
Yeah.
But I just feel like sometimes I'd be like, but it's important for me to point that out
Yeah.
and talk about it, and not walk around acting like, you know, my shit don't stink. Is that a good analogy? Like, because a lot of us, like, we do all these things that maybe we don't morally agree on, or that are wrong, but then when somebody was to, like, say something, we want to defend it, even though deep down, like, we know, like, it's wrong, but you're sitting there and you're defending it, but just because you're doing it,
Yeah.
and you're identifying yourself so much with what you do, that you can't see difference between, what's morally right and wrong, and 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 your actions sometimes.
Yeah, but I do believe that you should avoid this moral absolutism in that it's either right or it's wrong. Nearly everything that we do is grey and is in a moral
Yeah.
it's morally ambiguous. So I don't think there necessarily is a denial because we know what we're doing is wrong. Nearly everything anyone does can be arguably wrong or right. Even given to charity could be arguably wrong because you could potentially be dodging taxes, or you're doing it for selfish reasons so you can feel good. But it's arguably right because you're improving someone else's life, or so I feel like you shouldn't, there's no like trying to say this is morally right and morally wrong is where you're going to get into conflict, because nothing is really like that.
Okay, but then when we look at it from a standpoint of, like, self-reflection,
Mhm.
there are things for yourself, and I think it does often have to do with a lot to do with the relationship we have with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, the relationship we have with ourselves is determines the relationship we have with the world as well, and it always kind of transfers. And even though that's a little bit out of context of how we started the conversation, I'm not trying to make this a reasoning for any arguments I had before in terms of like eating meat or not. But when you look at things that you find wrong for yourself,
Mhm.
so let's take the moral ground out for like in terms of what other people should do, but what I should do.
Mhm.
Like I feel it's wrong for me to eat meat.
Yeah.
And even though I did say, like, I made an observation that I can't understand that anybody else wouldn't see that it's wrong, because for me it's such a like clear thing. Like, why are you eating meat?
Yeah.
So either way, let's go back. If I for me feel like it's wrong to eat meat, yet I'm still doing it, but I can sit here and have a conversation about my own ignorance
Mhm.
and lack of accountability to a certain extent, because I can say, yeah, accountability, but really and truly it's not accountability because I'm still eating it.
Mhm.
It's not change behavior, it's just addressing it.
Yeah.
So I think once you're able to kind of like identify your own ignorance towards yourself,
Mhm.
then you can be more open to ignorance itself, and not judge that too much as well.
Yeah.
But call it by its name. And then even when you called me ignorant before, it's not like I'm getting angry. I can be like, yeah,
Yeah.
ignorance.
But
And we
I
are
feel like you were.
this world is very ignorance driven, and it shows. And we can't deny that.
I just feel like what you just said now, I am a lot more comfortable with, because before it felt like you were projecting the discomfort you had personally with how you were eating meat, and you were projecting that and saying, I don't understand why or how people can say it's good to be comfortable with eating meat.
Yeah, I don't.
That's more about you don't understand how you are comfortable eating meat, even though you're uncomfortable with it, but then you are projecting it.
Yeah, but no, but I
And I
still
feel like that is, and we see that a lot in a bunch of different situations where people will feel something personally, and maybe because they can't process it, or because they feel so uncomfortable about it, they try to project it onto everyone else. And I just feel like that's unnecessary.
No, I think, but I still said what I said. I still think it's crazy how people can't see that. Most people can't. And I think that's absolutely mind blowing to me.
Okay.
But I'm not saying, you're eating meat, you shouldn't eat meat. I didn't never say that.
It makes you feel like if you weren't eating meat, you would say that.
I'm saying it even though I'm eating meat. So of course I would say it.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
And yes, no, and I would. And I do think, like, even now, like, I was like, didn't even eat mine properly. I was like, you eat it. And I was like, I don't know how you cannot see it. It really baffles me. But it's not like
it's really, not that I don't
and it
see
really
it.
doesn't come. Just one more thing. And it doesn't come from a hateful place. It just comes from a genuine questioning, like mind blown. Like, I can't believe you can't see it. It doesn't have like a charge, a negative or positive charge. I'm just neutrally like, how can you not see it? Like, that's
how are
crazy
you gonna
to
say
me.
that doesn't have a negative charge? How can you not see that?
Because
how can you say that positively?
But I don't.
How can you say that positively?
Because I know from where it's coming from, and I don't feel like I don't. First of all, like, I'm not judging you because I'm doing it myself.
How can you not see that?
Yeah, because
That's
how?
a judgment.
No, because I'm. It's like an equation, and I say 1 + 1 is 2. And for me, eating meat is bad. That's for me like that's like 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you're like, oh, 1 + 1 is 3, and I'm like, what? I'm not angry with you. I'm more like, but look, 1 + 1 is 2. So the reason why I say I'm not judging it, because I don't feel like you're a shit person or anything. I just think it's crazy how
you think it's crazy
that it's so different.
You think it's crazy how people don't understand that eating meat is bad? Do you not? Can you hear how you sound when you say
no? But
like
I just think it's crazy that nobody would.
That is the definition of taking the moral high ground. Firstly, there is a assumption that eating meat is bad objectively.
Yeah.
And it's not objectively bad. It can be argued either way. So that's why you sound ignorant when you say, I don't understand how people don't understand eating meat is bad. That's like saying I don't understand how people don't get that being gay is bad. Just because you think it's an objective bad doesn't mean that everyone else has to agree with you. And for you to say, I don't understand how people don't know that eating meat is bad, as if that's an objective fact, it makes you sound very ignorant.
And I'm okay with that. I still don't understand it though. Whatever it looks like to people, that's fine with me. And I can see how people can say it's ignorant for me. I absolutely understand. I'm just saying that doesn't change the fact for me that for me it's like crazy how people can't see it. That, you're killing an animal that you don't have to kill to survive. And you do it, and humanity does it in like mass production and
Yeah.
mass, these animals, 90% of them, the whole thing, it baffles me. I personally don't feel like necessarily like from how I feel that it comes from a place of like thinking I'm better or smarter, but I just think, wow, like I just don't understand how somebody cannot see it. That's it. I don't really think that, and especially because I'm eating it as well, I feel like I can't really say I'm better because I'm doing it myself. And like I said, if people can say it's ignorant, and it is. And I said from the beginning, I'm just as ignorant as everyone else. I mean, I'm a human living in the Western world and I'm just as ignorant as everyone else. But I'm still saying it baffles me that how can you not see it? What is that an issue?
Yeah.
Why?
Because as I said before, I feel like this, and I'm not saying that you are, but there is an element of narcissism in what you're saying, because you feel like the way you think is the objective fact, and you can't come to terms with how people don't understand what you believe is an objective fact. And it's almost as if you can't think outside of your own beliefs. Eating meat is not objectively bad.
No.
There are some, but you're saying it as if it is.
Well, most things are not. Most things are.
But you're saying, you literally just said, I don't understand how people.
Yeah, I don't. For my part.
Wait. You literally just said, I don't understand how people can't come to terms with how eating meat is bad, and they still do it anyway. Eating meat is not.
No. What do you mean still do that anyway? Because that doesn't make sense. What you just said.
You don't understand how.
I don't understand how they can't see that it's not a good thing, and they still do it anyway. It didn't have to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Yeah, how you can see it. Yeah.
How you can't see it.
Yeah.
Let's say there are some, let's say like a native tribe.
Yeah.
They are able to farm.
Yes.
They hunt their own animals.
Yes.
Is that objectively bad?
But I said before, like I didn't know if I said it, but these kind of things, then I get it. Like if you killing the animal and you're living in like that setting where you live as a community and only a few people and you kind of hunt it to eat it, like this kind of like circle of life. As part of that, I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how we as a society in the Western world especially eat meat.
So there's exceptions to this.
Yes.
Exactly. But then that means because there are exceptions, you would have to look at everyone's case-by-case basis. Mm-hmm. Some people grew up in a culture where eating meat is acceptable. Some people really enjoy eating meat and it's probably the best part of their day. Yeah. The taste of eating the meat. Yeah. And so all of these little exceptions that we can pick from all of these different people's lives makes what you're saying unconscionable, and it makes it, and it kind of makes the entire point moot. Because it makes the entire point moot because everyone lives a very, very different life. Yeah. And because there are certain exceptions to this rule, it does make sense how not everyone can understand how eating meat is bad, because not everyone has the same relationship with meat.
Fair enough.
Some people live in a farm somewhere. Some people, it's the best part of their day. And this is what I'm saying. This is why it sounds like you can't live or think outside of the way that you think.
That's not true, because if I couldn't think of the way outside of a thing, then I would have completely like shredded the whole thing and be like, it's wrong. I can't believe you're doing that. I'm just saying, I just can't believe that people don't get it. I'm not, and I get that everybody's different and stuff like that, but for me, it's so straight 1 + 1 is 2 that I think it's like, it baffles me that people can't see that. And I know what you mean, but I think that I'm coming just from a very personal standpoint.
Yeah, it sounds like your relationship with.
But I can't say, I'm not going to say that, oh, of course, everything is subjective. And I'm a firm believer in like more things actually are subjective than most people would say is subjective. Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything is just a theory rather than an opinion or like a fact for me. There's a lot of things that for me just a theory. Yeah. Especially also when I talk about my opinions, they're theories and I don't die on the hill for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my own, like the way I see the world, certain things like them eating meat, like I just don't understand. Like for me, that's so obvious that I know, of course, I'm aware that lots of people think differently. I had this conversation about it many times, but I still feel like, oh wow, like, but I still don't get how you can't get it, especially like in the Western world, like
I
the
think
way these animals are treated and the no, it just doesn't. It really comes like just from a pure point of like I just don't see how you can't feel like that this is not okay. That's it. I don't know how you want to frame it. That I don't mind like ignorant, terrible person judging people can look like that. Fair enough, but I just feel like it doesn't come from necessarily a place like that. I'm just really like innocently, neutrally wondering like how can people not see it?
And you don't feel like I've explained that?
I do, but
But
I still feel like for me it's like
so I have explained it,
yeah,
but yet you still want to hold on to it. Why?
yeah, because hold on to whatever
Hold on to this disbelief.
What
that
disbelief?
You're in disbelief that people don't understand. And I've explained to you why
I mean,
certain people
no,
don't
disbelief
hold
that
the
people
same.
don't understand. Yeah, because it's like for me, if I was to see like a chicken here right now,
Yeah,
and somebody would like slice it, that would be so traumatic and sad to me
yeah,
that it's crazy to think that somebody can be just next to me and be like, oh, whatever. And it's like, what? There's blood everywhere, like the beheaded chicken, and it was just here like normal. Like it would be so, it would be so traumatizing for me. But things are so subjective. Somebody could just sit there and be like, yum, like dinner in 2 hours, and it's like for that person because they have a completely different life and everything. That's whatever. And they're all they're thinking when they see the blood and the chicken like twitching on the floor is thinking, oh, dinner time in 2 hours. I can't wait to take the plug out the feathers and make it. And I see that, like you said, two people can come in a room and see two completely different things.
yeah.
And you think I'm not aware of that? Of course, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But still, from my point of view, it's like crazy if that would happen and the person next to me would be calm. I would be like, what? How can you be so calm? Like, you see what just happened? So it's coming from that standpoint. Do you think I don't know that people think different about different things? I don't know what point you're trying to make here. Of course I know that. But it's still like sometimes even crazy to think that some things can be so wrong for one person and so right for the other. And I guess as a society, that's like the space we all live in, isn't it? That makes the world whatever great, but I'm still like baffled. I think still is crazy how you can't see it.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
No, that's it. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. Do you think I should post that? Is it interesting?
I think that's so interesting. I think it's so visually interesting to see someone argue for not eating meat when they have like chicken wings in front of them. I think that's so funny.
Of course, but I've been saying that. I'm not like,
I'm saying I think it's visually interesting. We're not talking about the argument anymore. We're actually we're talking about the content. I think that's really funny. I think that's really funny. And I think it would actually, especially if we take some clips out of context, I feel like some people would really run with that. How is she talking about this with chicken wings in front of her? I think a lot of people will comment that. I think it could do well.
Well, it doesn't really matter because you can't really see the chicken wings while we sit here. This could be anything from that far.
Yeah, but you've mentioned a couple of times that you.
Yeah. But to be honest, when I mentioned it, then I don't feel like.
I think it's
because
really
I didn't mention it like I did say like I can't really say much. I'm ignorant,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about being like plant-based diet, and I'm having chicken wings. I mean,
Yeah. No, I think it's funny, and I think
Yeah.
it's a very, especially within the black community, because we are like big meat eaters.
yeah.
I think it would be really engaging.
Yeah.
But they are gonna cook you. They will cook you.
Hmm.
There aren't a lot of vegans in the black community who are gonna like back you up. So just as long
And
as
I think it's so crazy. Like honestly, this meat eating thing, like it really like. I mean, yeah, but like I said, I can't really say much because I'm eating it myself. So that's more it. But even if I didn't eat it, like I think because I think in this context, whether I eat it or not doesn't hold much weight. Not really.
not in the context
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
conversation that we're having. We're more talking about the
Moral
morality
yes.
of eating meat, as opposed to should you be eating meat or should I be eating meat. It's not really about my personal, what I do personally. I was talking more about the statement of I can't believe.
Because I can't believe it. I really can't. Like, how can it be right? But I get it. Like, and like you said, especially in the black community, it's like, like, how can you not eat meat? Like, are you crazy?
I wouldn't say it's like, are you crazy?
No, but I mean, if you go a few generations back, like they would be like, what do you mean? Like, when I told my dad I don't eat meat, he was like, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like he's literally looking at me like I've lost it completely.
Because honestly, like if I can use this example, so there's different ways of working out. You can work out for strength where you do like really high intensity, low reps, or you can work out for like muscular endurance, a lot of reps, really low weight. And that's like me saying, because really the only way I want to work out is to build strength and like get bigger. So that's like me seeing someone who's training for muscular endurance. I'm like, I don't understand how you're training like that when there's this way of training, a way that I personally feel like is the right way to train. How are you training? Like, why are you training like that? I don't understand how you could even think like that. How do I sound in that situation?
But I mean, I don't know what the terms about. Use a different example, please.
Muscular endurance and strength.
What's even endurance? What do you want?
I'm just gonna
use a different example.
Endurance.
Please. Like what? Taking it in? I don't know.
All right.
Holding pain, enduring. Something.
All right. Let's say I'm a sprinter.
Yeah.
And there's a marathon runner.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Let's say I'm a sprinter and there's a marathon runner. Sprinters have to train for explosive strength and only to run for a short amount of time. Marathon trainers have to have endurance and run a long amount of time. Now I'm a sprinter and I see a marathon runner and he's training and he's running for ages. I'm like, I don't understand how he's training like this, where this is the best way to train.
Sorry, I saw on that. Let's play the card game. Oops. That's God telling me I have to stop being rude.